All right, guys, let's get this practice test video going. First one just says, write the augmented matrix. All you do is have to write the matrix. Doesn't say to solve it. So I'm going to say 4, -5, 18, 2, 3, 5. That's augmented. No, we put the broken line down in there, but that's what augmented looks like. Okay, now 2 and 3, you actually have to solve them. So a couple of these, let's go 3, 4, 7, -5, 2, and 10. All right, if you remember during the week, we would circle whatever number we're trying to make a 0. I'm going to make that number 0. So I'm going to multiply the whole top row by 5. Make that 15, 20, and 35. The whole bottom row by 3. Gives me a -15, a 10, and a 30. And I'm going to add the blue. My top row is going to stay the same, 3, 4, and 7. But my bottom row, I'm going to add the blue numbers, top and bottom, to get a 0 right there, which is what I wanted. I'm going to get a 26 here. I'm getting a 65 there, so it's not turning out really great so far. Now, I need a 1 where the 26 is, so I'm going to divide the whole bottom row by 26. When I do that, let me see what I get here. And I get 5 halves. So the bottom row is done. Now what I need to fix the top row, which means I need a 0 right there, so I'm going to put the whole bottom row by -4. 5 halves times -4 would be -10. And I'm going to add those numbers, those green numbers, to the top row, which is going to give me a 3, a 0, a -3, and a 0, 1, and a 5 halves. Now to finish up, I need one more thing. I need that 3 in my top row to become a 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my eraser here. I'm going to divide the whole row by 3. So that 3 becomes a 1. 0 divided by 1 is still 0. And if I go -3 divided by 3, I get -1. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to write your answer. Your x is -1. Your y is 5 halves. These two are probably the longest two on their test, so it's going to take us a second to get through 2 and 3, then we'll pick the pace back up. All right, next one, set up your matrix again. 3, 2, 6, 2, -3, -9. If you want the broken line, put the broken line. If you don't, that's okay, not a very good broken line there. All right, so I need a 0, same spot as last time, need a 0 right there. So I'm going to multiply the top row by -2, being -6, -4, -12. The bottom row by 3 to give me a +6. And I'm going to add. The top rows doesn't change. The second row, add your red numbers. That's going to be 0. That's going to be -13. This is going to be -39. Like that one much better. Now, because I need that 13 right here to become a positive one, divide everything by -13. 0, 1, 3, 3, 2, 6. There you go. So the bottom row, that's a 6. The bottom row is now complete. Top row wise now, I need that 2 to become a 0. So I'm going to put the whole bottom row by -2, and I'll get those numbers. My top row is now 3, 0 plus 3, -2 plus 2, -6 plus 6. 0, 1, 3. I'm one step away, and that is I need that 3 right here to become a 1. So I'm just going to divide the whole top row by 3. 3 divided by 3, 0 divided by 3, 0 divided by 3, 0, 1, 3. Donezo. Answer is 0, 3. Hopefully it makes some sense. 2 of those tomorrow, so make sure you get that. Number 4 says find x and y. Don't forget on these that the 2 matrices that are equal must be the same size, and every element or every number inside must be the same. So that 2x has to be 26. So if 2x is 26, that means x is 13. There's the x. And that 4y must equal 48. So I'm going to say 4y is -48, which means y is -12. All there is to that one. Let's keep going. Now we get to all the matrix operations. So first one says a plus b. A and B are both 2 by 2, and all you do is you add the corresponding elements. So I'm going to take the 2 and the -4, add them, take the 1 and the 7, add them, the 3 and the 0, and the 5 and the -1, which is 4. That's all you got to do on that one. All right, the second one says B minus 3C. Matrix B is -4, 7, 0, -1. I'm going to do a minus, I'm going to do 3 times C. If you multiply everything in matrix C times 3, this is what I'm getting. Now I'm just going to subtract straight across. -4 minus 12 is -16. 7 minus 12 is -5. 0 minus -3 is +3. -1 minus -3 is +2. And there you go. And then you probably should put little brackets around matrix D. I'm not sure what happened there. 7 says -5 times D. And then remember, -5 is called a scalar. You just multiply everything in matrix D times -5. That's -15, +5 and 0. -5, -20, and -10. All I did there is, again, multiply everything in matrix D by -5. Number 8 says A times C. All right, matrix A is, trying here, keeps moving on me. Here we go. Matrix A is 2, 1, 3, 5. Matrix C is 4, 4, -1, -1. Now, first of all, they're both 2 by 2s, which means I can do it because I'm getting those numbers. And my answer is going to be a 2 by 2. So I'm going to draw those blanks like we did this week of a 2 by 2. And again, I'm about to go across, down, go across, down, then across, down, 4 times. All right, so the first one, across, down, I'm going across this, it's hard to show you. I'm going this row, that column. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times -1 is -1. Those are my 2 numbers. For my second number, I'm going to cross the first row, down that column. Okay, 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times -1 is -1, the same exact numbers. I'm really done with the top row now. If you don't want to look at that anymore, you don't have to worry about that. Now I'm going to go this row, that column. 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times -1 is -5. And finally, I'm on the last row and last column, so I'm using last row, last column. 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times -1 is -5. Same thing again. So my final answer there, 7, 7, 7, 7. That's pretty cool, but that's the answer. Okay, I'm going to have to erase that to make room for my next one. Okay, number 9 says D times A. All right, D is D is 3, -1, 0, 1, 4, 2. That's a 2 by 3, by the way. And matrix A is a 2 by 2, 2, 1, 3, 5. I'm going to do this a little quicker. I just went through all the steps a second ago, so my answer is going to be a 2 by 2 again. Okay, so I'm going to, actually, what was I saying? You can't do this one. That's a 3, that's a 2, 2 and 3. You can't do it. That's an NP. I did all that for nothing. Draw all that out. You should have checked the dimensions at the beginning. Learn that lesson from me right there. I should have checked them first. Just wasted about 3 of your video minutes. Sorry about that. It happens. And the last one, C times D. Hopefully we can do that. We can't do D times A. Let's check it up here. C is a 2 by 2. C is a 2 by 2. D is a 2 by 3. So that one we are good to go. So I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to go ahead and my answer is going to be a 2 by 3, which looks like matrix D, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that down here. And I'm going to cross down. Across the first row, down the first column is 12 plus 4. First row, second column, -4 plus 16. First row, third column, 0 plus 8. Done with that row. Now we're doing the second row, first column, -3 plus -1. Second row, second column is 1 plus -4. And then second row, last column, 0 plus -2. Let's just add that stuff together. Gonna get 16, 12, 8, -4, -3, -2. And that should be it. All right, number 11, something different here. Inverse, that's where we had all those gestures the other day. Remember, so I'm gonna do, find the determinant, which means I'm gonna multiply this way, get 15. Multiply the other diagonal, get 4, always subtract, that's 11. Flip it, put it in the front. So I'm going 1/11th after I flip it, put it in the front. Trade places with your first and fourth numbers, switch sides on your second, third. All right, and then just distribute that 1/11. So it'd be 3 over 11, 4 over 11, 1 over 11, 5 over 11, and that's the inverse right there. And number 12, solve using the inverse matrix equation. So that's where we did the 3 lines of work on Wednesday. So start off just with your matrix equation. Put your coefficients in one matrix, times put your variables in the next matrix, and then as some of y'all say, put your answers in the other matrix. Okay, now what I gotta do is I gotta take the inverse of this one and move it over to the other side. So I'm gonna find the inverse just like I just did. Multiply, get -6, multiply, get 3, subtract, flip, put it in the front. So I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have xy equals -1/9. Switch the first and the fourth, change signs on the other two. multiply by what you have over here, which is 210. Now remember, let's leave that negative 1/9 out there to the bitter end. So I'm going to leave it just sitting here. And I'm going to go across down twice. It's going to give me -6 and -30. That's -36, which I like because 9 goes into 36. -1 times 2, 2 times 10, 20. That's going to be 18. Take the 1/9 through there. Now 9 goes into 36 4 times, so that's going to be 4. 9 goes into 18 2 times. It's going to be -2 because the 1/9 is negative and the 18 is not. So there's your answer. You must show those 3 steps tomorrow. All right. Number 13. Can't find the same base. I'm going to do log both sides. The exponent goes in the front. X log 3 equals log 25. Divide both sides by log 3. And then we're just going to punch that right smack in our calculator. So I'm going log 25 divided by log 3. I'm getting 2.9299. Make sure you get that on your calculator. Number 14, another law. I got subtraction here. Make sure you're looking for addition or subtraction. Subtraction, remember, you divide just like this. If it's addition, you multiply, so be careful. That's really base 10 right there. So I'm going to go 10 to that power equals that. 10 to the -1 power is 1/10. You got to flip it over x equals x over x plus 3. Cross multiply. You get 10x is x plus 3. I'm moving the x over with the 10x. Dividing by 9. You get 3/9, which is really 1/3. Change the base formula. It's base 3. Our calculator doesn't usually do base 3, but we can make it do it by doing this right here. We can do log 19 over log 3 and see what that gives us. The base always goes at the bottom. Is a good way to remember that. Log 19. Make sure you close your parentheses. Divided by log 3. And I'm getting 2.6801. Okay, for that one. Couple more here. 16. It says, it's telling you one big hint. 4 is 1, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4 in the box, which means it's going to work. I'm going to get 0 at the end when I do this. So I'll bring the 1 down. 1 times 4, add. -2 times 4, add. 5 times 4. Sure enough, I get 0. Now what I got to do now, I got to take the numbers I have here, the x squared minus 2x plus 5, set it equal to 0, and solve what I have left. Now, bad news is there are no factors of 5 that will give you -2. So I'm going to have to complete the square. You could also do x equals -b plus or minus square root if you want to. Okay, but I'm going to complete the square. Half of -2 is -1. If you square it, it's +1, both sides. So I have -4 over here. If I factor this side, remember the half is what always goes in there. Half of -2 is -1. Take the square root of both sides. You get x minus 1. Over here, you get plus or minus 2i because it was negative when you take the square root right there. Last step, just move the 1 over. You get +1 plus or minus 2i. Got it. All right, 17, find the domain. The domain is, we do it like this. All x such that x cannot equal. What can x not equal in a fraction? You cannot get a 0 in your denominator, so x cannot equal -4, and you've got it. 18, says solve using augmented matrices. That's RF on your calculator. So I'm going to go to second matrix, edit, 3 by 4, punch those numbers in, 1, 2, -3, 9. I'm doing this as I speak to you. 2, -1, 2, -8. I have to say them out loud. 3, -1, -4, 3. Got them in. Go second quit. Go back to matrix. Go to that math. Scroll up to letter B, which is RF. Go back to matrix one more time. Tell it which matrix you used. Your answer's in the last column, and this one you should get this, -1, 2, -2. That takes about, 15 seconds. So you might want to punch it in twice to make sure you get the right answer. And guys, that's it. Hope that helps. Good luck tomorrow.